we're going to come together, not separated by our differences. We're going to be out here in Washington Square Park like the old days, thrashing it out and debating about what future humanity needs. The basic human right to abortion in this country, as outrageous as that decision was, and we have to call a spade a spade. What's more outrageous is that there's not 10,000 people here with us today. This is despicable.
Are full human beings. That Judge Amarillo wrote a 67-page rambling, insane decision. He uses unscientific language like unborn human while simultaneously claiming his only problem with the abortion pill is some procedural error in its FDA approval. Then he goes along and cites an obscenity law from the 19th century. He's all over the place. It is crazy that this guy has managed to not get disbarred, let alone be making decisions for all of us all over the entire country. Everybody, let's hear it for Travis, longtime organizer for Rise Up for Abortion Rights and my personal old man best friend.
The number 4, abortionrights.org, and scroll down to where it says number, your email address, how you can contribute, because look, everyone has spoken today about the horrors of what we're going to be in the streets to force this system to restore legal abortion nationwide. Yeah! With dark ages, dogma.
And out of Texas seeks to control every single one of us, seeks to reduce us to incubators, seeks to deny.
We're going to be in the streets to force this system to restore legal abortion nationwide. Yeah!
Okay, I see you have a sign that says pro-life would be regulating this and not this. What brings you out here today?
Because I believe that we should be allowed to decide on how we manage our own reproductive organs.
Okay.
All right.
And what does this ruling or decision made yesterday by the judge in Texas mean to you?
It's ridiculous. I'm actually a retired physician, and I find it appalling that a judge with no medical training is going to question the safety of a medication that was approved by people who actually know what they're doing and has been safely used for over 20 years. I mean, it's appalling that, somebody who is clearly working under the premise of his religious beliefs is having a decision that is over science.
Okay. And what's your concerns as a former physician in regards to this ruling and the crackdown?
Well, we already have the highest mortality rate of any developed country, and we're already seeing in states with restrictive abortion bans that the women are having higher rates of or higher rates of maternal mortality, and it's only going to get worse.
Okay. And where were you? What type was your specialty as a physician?
I was an internal medicine physician who also did some end-of-life care.
And we all
and
need to be ready to commit.
Oh, I used to work at Mount Sinai. This is many years ago.
Abortion nationwide now.
What other concerns you have about the direction of the country?
So I volunteer a lot for gun violence prevention, and I have a son who's 16. I'm ashamed of how easily it is that we allow anybody to get a gun in this country. Like this is like it's like the pro-death party is like in charge.
I want to hear your ideas.
If you have anything else you want to say?
I want everybody to not become numb, to stop being complacent, and to step up because we have to. This is impacting all of us.
Can you spell your name?
SONNIMUN.
It's really that
And your
simple.
doctor
And I'd also encourage everyone.
It's MUN. It's Dr. Moon. But like I said, I'm retired.
About why
thank you very much.
abortion
Thanks.
matters.
Not letting that stand. We are coming out. We are making a mass movement, hitting the streets. We are going to protest, a nonviolent protest, until we have gotten our rights back.
When that previous decision in Texas came down, the 2 steps back towards outlawing abortion, I cannot. And we are sitting here on the precipice of nuclear war. And that is not exaggeration, where the future of humanity is at stake. So let's come together. I'm so happy to be standing here with all.
Right now, we're going to hear from Miles of Outer Nation. Outer Nation, excuse me.
Revolution Nothing Less shirt to check out the Revolution Club. Watch the Revolution, where women are full human beings and can decide if and when to have children, where women can walk down the street during the day without harassment or at night without fear. But these two futures before us, the fascist, something terrible, which we are seeing, or a whole different world. We don't have to live this way, but which 23, the time is running out. We will invite everybody to come to Revolution Books on Monday, April 10th, this coming Monday, at 132nd Street and Malcolm X Boulevard in Harlem at 6 p.m. to plan for May 1st. No longer afford to allow these imperialists to dominate the world and determine the destiny of humanity. They need to be overthrown as soon as possible. And whether they have to stay that way. And for all of these reasons, this revolution that we're working for is right now, the rulers of this country are at each other's throats and can no longer hold this country together with all of the clashes and all of the attacks and the fraying of the norms that are existing, that they have existed since the Civil War for the last 150 years. That's falling apart. It's being ripped to shreds. Democrats done to take on this fascist offensive? We have to confront that they have consistently and repeatedly compromised with and actually facilitated this fascist offensive.
Signs here. What brings you out here today?
Can we first ask, like, what this is for?
It's for Loud Labs News, a news agency in the city.
Okay.
Pro-life is alive. You don't care if
What the signs are for?
What the signs are for, yeah.
I mean, we've seen how the courts continue to strike down this legislation, and we understand, like, local issues, and the court in Texas was a Trump-appointed judge. We know in New York we don't have the exact concerns, but we're kind of here because we know that the church and the state are not behind the people. We're trying to fight back, and this is one of the many ways.
Yeah. I mean, I think this ruling from Texas striking down, the FDA's approval of mifepristone, which has been approved for like 23 years, is very similar to the striking down of Roe v. Wade, which was the precedent in our country for decades. And I think they're coming at things that people have taken for granted for a really long time, and we need to stop doing that, and we need to start actively fighting for the things that we care about. So,
when Roe v. Wade was repealed or was struck down last year, did that propel you into abortion rights activism?
I feel like we've both been quite involved on the local level in politics, and this is just like one issue that we care about. We know that this is like closely tied to the anti-LGBTQ legislation that we see across the nation, especially anti-trans legislation. I think we're looking to the Biden administration for kind of executive orders, which we haven't seen. When Roe got struck down, the Biden admin had time to prep for it. And I don't think they delivered. I think we have higher expectations both for them and, again, on the local level to protect these rights.
I see in Australia there's been some criticism towards the Democratic Party's response to abortion rights. What do you think of the Democratic Party's response to it?
I think they can do more.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen Democratic lawmakers in our city, in our state, and across the country come out really strongly against this ruling from Texas, and I'm very grateful for that. I think we've seen the Department of Justice under Attorney General Merrick Garland come out against this ruling. I think the one thing that I'm still waiting on is President Biden to put out a strong statement on this, but I'm very glad that we have built a general consensus in this country that abortion is moral and that it should be a fundamental right. A majority of Americans think that, and a majority of our lawmakers think that as well.
What else do you want to say? Do you have anything else you want to say?
I think we're good. I think we've seen in Wisconsin for the election They voted for a liberal judge. People do want these abortion rights. It's not something that only the people here are fighting for. These are the people that have the time, that know about this. But we've seen people across the nation want the right to abortion.
Yeah.
Can you spell your name?
Yeah,
Can I do first names?
The people in charge.
Yeah, okay, my name's Adriana, A-D-R-I-A-N-A.
Ariana, A-R-I-A-N-A.
And where you guys are based out or coming from?
New York City, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Rights. Forgive me if I'm looking at my phone for the speech. Obviously, this was a little last minute. First I want to emphasize that it's important to keep the facts straight. This ruling doesn't immediately ban mifepristone nationwide. That is what's at stake right here. We know it's being appealed, which is great. It'll likely make it all the way to the Supreme Court, who, quite frankly, we cannot trust to do the right thing. We know from last summer when they overturned Roe v. Wade that our bodily autonomy is not their first priority. And that's why I believe we need to get organized now and be in the streets now to make it clear that we will not stand for this assault on our freedom. Bodily autonomy is the most fundamental human right, and any attack on it must be met with massive, organized, nonviolent resistance. And I want to talk to people who may be sitting on the sidelines, sitting at home right now, who are devastated but don't know what to do in the face of all the horrors we're exposed to on a daily basis. I get it. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. It's easy to feel powerless. But I'm saying that now is the time to join the fight. We need everyone doing everything that they can. Different people may have different strengths. Some people might be, want to give a speech. Others don't. That's fine. The important thing is that you do something, that you show up, that you care. So I want to say that this attempt to ban a necessary medical procedure cannot be ignored and must not be allowed to become our new normal. I'm tired of trying to appeal to the conscience of people who see me as an incubator. I am tired of these lawmakers placing shackles on us. We know they don't care that they're being hypocrites. They don't care about the effect that their cruelty has on our lives. They will not sit down and have a reasonable discussion with us. We need to get organized and rise up in massive numbers in order to put real pressure on them, in order to actually hold them accountable for their fascist ideology and attacks on women and others who are marginalized among us. I will not be told to calm down or to wait until the next election. I will not be told to go about my day and pretend that everything is fine in the face of this violence and this cruelty. I will not be placated by empty promises from Democrats or accept any compromise that leaves even a single person without access to abortion. I want us all to commit to fighting for this basic human right, to fight for control of our own goddamn organs, even when we're faced with setbacks and disappointments. Please do not let living in a blue state make you complacent. This ruling against mifepristone is federal, and if the illegitimate Supreme Court continues with its forced birth agenda, then doctors here in New York City could lose their licenses for prescribing this safe and essential medication. We need to break out of the blue state, red state mindset and unite across borders to fight for abortion on demand and without apology. None of us are free until all of us are free.
And Gilma, as you can probably hear, that rally is underway. You'll also recall that when news of the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade broke out, this is where New Yorkers, this is where abortion rights supporters...
All right, everybody, let's do some more chants. Just repeat after me. Everywhere we go, people want to know what we want, so we tell them. We want the pill, abortion pill. We want the pill, abortion pill. All right, you guys are good singers. All right. Rise up for abortion rights, rise up. 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 Rise up for abortion rights, rise up.
Rise up for abortion.
Rise up. My body, my will. Hands off the abortion pill. My body, my will. Hands up for abortion pill. My body, my will. Hands off the abortion pill. My body, my will. Hands off the abortion pill. My body, my will. Hands off the abortion pill. My body, my will. Hands off the abortion pill.
Hell yeah, they are. Trans rights are human rights, queer rights are human rights, women's rights are human rights. We're here fighting for everyone's right for an abortion. Regardless of gender identity, regardless of where you live, how much money you have, how old you are, your reason for getting an abortion. Everyone deserves access to this basic medical procedure. Now, we'd like to invite up Finley, a sexual violence prevention expert, to speak.
Hi everyone. Oh my god. Sorry, I hate my voice in the mic. So I'm really grateful to see everyone gathered here today, especially on such short notice. And I mean, the news of the ruling didn't come out late just by accident. The later it happens, the harder it is to organize. The less effective the organizing, the easier it is to push whatever agenda, especially when it comes to limiting rights of, you know, a lot of people in this country. I want to talk about an often overlooked aspect of reproductive justice as a sexual violence prevention expert. And I will also be talking in gender-neutral terms to represent and stand in solidarity with transgender community, which I'm a part of, because a lot of us can fall pregnant and might need an abortion. I'm also issuing a trigger warning for my speech, and I will be talking about rape and sexual violence. So, we're all used to hearing that abortion bans will have sort of an exception for rape and incest. And not to worry, you know? But that's actually largely a lie. While legally a lot of bans do allow abortions to be performed on victims of sexual abuse, the reality is truly grim. In Ohio, for example, no exceptions exist for pregnancy resulting from abuse. Just last year, at least 3 minors were denied the procedure and had to carry to term. The youngest of the survivors was 10 years old. It was a 10-year-old child who was forced to carry a pregnancy to term. That can be lethal. But even in the states allowing exceptions, they oftentimes just don't work. For example, there is no standardized procedure for proving your rape was the reason you need an abortion. And that also excludes the conversation of how bullshit it is that we need to prove why we need an abortion, but that's besides my point. No rape kit? Or your rape kit got lost? Or your rapist wouldn't confess to the police? Shockingly. Well, fuck you then, I guess, no abortion for you. Rape is an underreported crime and nobody should be forced into the legal process just to access basic reproductive health care. That's bullshit! Now, in Florida, where these exemptions exist on paper, incest victims regularly see their rights denied regardless. Last fall, a 15-year-old fell pregnant as the result of familial rape. I'll repeat myself. A 15-year-old was denied an abortion after a family member raped them. The teenager had to carry to term and deliver their rapist's baby. Devastatingly, it can get worse. For example, comatose patients in long-term care facilities often become victims of rape, and many can and do get pregnant. In states with no exceptions for rape and incest, they can be forced to deliver a baby. Like fucking what? That's insane! So that brings me to my point. We're all fighting for ourselves, for our bodies, for our rights, and that's dope. I am as well. But if you do get too tired to fight on your own behalf, here is what I think you should remember. We're in this for much more than just ourselves. We're here and standing up for the most vulnerable in our society and our communities. I'm angry for myself, of course. But I'm also angry for those who can't safely or freely stand with us today. I'm angry for childhood sexual abuse victims who are forced to carry the evidence of their trauma on and within their little bodies. I'm angry for comatose patients with no say in the matter. I'm angry for Black birth givers who don't get equal or proper access to any reproductive health care. I'm angry for parents forced to carry to term just to watch their baby die minutes within they're born. Sometimes we grow tired of being angry on our own behalf, and the urge to give in can feel overpowering. I feel that a lot of the time. Well, on those days, I think of who else am I angry for, and the fire reignites itself. So if you ever feel like you can't go on, may the thought of those who need us to fight for them carry you through the dark days. I'm angry, and I'm grateful to be fighting for more than just myself. And I'm even more grateful to be fighting by your side. Stay together, stand tall, we've got this.
Also with Rise Up for Abortion Rights, give it up for Issa.
Will have immediate devastating effects, even if it is blocked and
brings me out here
challenged.
is that what happened
As a
with
queer
this Texas
and non-binary
ruling,
person of color,
is
I know
total
the Supreme
outrage.
Court's reversal of Roe
On
v.
one hand,
Wade
it's not a
last
big
June
surprise,
and the targeting of abortion rights was
Christian
just the
fundamentalists
leading
in this
edge
country,
of a national, political,
they've been going
and
for this for
legislative
decades,
agenda
40, 50
by
years.
reactionaries to roll back the fundamental
there's this
civil
particular
rights
thing that's
of
this
women,
particular
queer
ruling,
and
but
trans
there's also
folks, people of color, people with
direction
disabilities, and other
that a
oppressed
certain
groups.
section of those ruling the society are
Wealthy
trying to
people
take
will
it.
always be able to obtain
Christian
abortions and the medical care
I
they
think
need.
people have-
And this ruling and the
there should
overturn
be
of Roe
thousands
v.
of people
Wade
in the streets here, but
inevitably have the harshest impact
people
on
really have to
poor
stand
and
up, and I
working
felt
class
compelled
Black
to be
and
out
brown
here.
communities.
Expound on what do you mean by Christian fascism?
Under capitalism, there is no end to these attacks because control of our
I mean, there's a
bodies
whole
as properties,
driving force
as property
in, like,
and
if you wanna
generators
call it the
of
conservative
profit
movement,
and of future laborers is hardwired
centered in
into the
Republican
capitalist
Party.
system.
A lot of that is
The system
driven by
cannot
Christian
survive
fundamentalism,
without the
like
unpaid
literal
and low-paid
interpretation of the
labor
Bible.
of women, workers
And a lot of those
color,
people want to
and
actually enforce
immigrants.
that in like a theocracy on society.
But we are fired up, and we will not go back.
I definitely think it's going in that direction.
The
Too many
mobilization
people
for
are going
reproductive
along with it,
justice
too.
was initiated by the organization Radical Women to organize an urgently
Yeah, I mean, I
needed,
think a lot of it is, like,
uncompromising
people kind of
grassroots
pinning their
feminist
hopes to, like, the
response
Democratic
to
Party.
the at the
Democratic
time
Party's not gonna do
impending decision regarding Roe v. Wade. That is what it took to
I mean,
originally win Roe, and that is what
In
we
a lot of ways,
need
they
today.
actually enable the Supreme Court ruling that basically
Numerous
banned abortion.
feminist people of
They
color
they
and
went
labor
along with
unions
that.
and
Do you know anyone that's
organizations
been
and
affected by this
individuals
ruling?
are active with the mobilization for reproductive justice
Personally, I don't,
nationally.
but it's
The mobilization's intersectional
affecting
demands
millions and millions of people already.
include safe legal abortion on
Do you have
demand,
anything else you want to say?
repeal the Hyde
No,
Amendment,
that's it.
stop forced
It's
sterilization,
Jesse
no to
Williams,
cage kids and child welfare abuses,
Jessewillamis.
end medical and environmental racism for
I'm a musician.
universal health care.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Defend
I saw you spoke in front of the crowd. What brings you out here to this event and your thoughts on the ruling that was made yesterday?
An advanced placement teacher.
That's honestly a weird question to ask. We're all here for the same reason. We want our bodily autonomy not to be decided for us. That's it. The decision that was made yesterday is a decision that's going to endanger and harm thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people.
Okay. And what is your concerns here? Obviously, Roe v. Wade was struck down last year. Did that propel you to this activist mode to fight against this ruling?
I'm gonna make sure.
I'm a sexual violence prevention expert. I've been in activist mode since I was a teenager. This is just yet another cause that deeply matters to me.
Okay.
And no one says a
And
thing.
there
Because
are
if
people
you
that
have
say
teachers
that
like him,
New York State is a
and you
pro-abortion
have
rights
adults like
state.
him
What if you
that
would
tell
tell
kids
those
like
people,
us that we have
like,
to
why
deal
should
with
this
this,
matter
and we
if
have to
like,
accept
abortion is
the
legal?
abuse and the discrimination.
Abortion is legal in
from
New
men.
York, and that's amazing. And I would love for New York City and New York State to serve as a safe haven for people seeking abortion from states where bans have been enacted. However, nobody is safe in the nation where a conservative, pro-life Supreme Court runs the show. So even in New York, a liberal state, we're never going to be safe for as long as these rights can be challenged.
What is your other concerns, in your opinion?
What do you mean?
Like, what other concerns you have in regards to this ongoing surge against abortion in New York?
Lack of access to abortion does a lot of damage. It can do damage to people who require abortion for medical reasons. It can do damage to survivors of rape and incest. It can do damage to people who simply want their bodily autonomy respected. That's it. It's very simple. It's very simple. What?
Do you have anything else you want to say?
Not on camera, but to you personally, I think you didn't prepare your questions well.
Right. Can you spell your name?
It's Finley Muratova, FINLEY MURATOVA. I think that at an abortion rally, media should be covering the issue from a place of understanding. I'm also a media worker, so it gets complicated because I wish that the questions I was asked allowed me to speak in depth on the issues.
Okay. Thank you.
And it needs to be overthrown right now. Yeah.
I have a sign that says I don't
One
want
example of this
bureaucracy.
outrage
What do you mean by that?
is illegitimate and fascist assault on women that just came down
Sorry,
from
the sound is a little bit hard to talk over, but there's a lot of energy here, and it's because a judge in Texas who has been forum shopped has tried to withdraw the FDA approval for Mifepristone,
So
which
listen
is
to
a
what
safe,
this fascist judge actually
safe drug
says in his
to
supposedly
allow
legal
abortions.
decision.
It's been used for decades, and
worth listening to.
this judge is one who has gone through,
blocks the hormone
has been
halts nutrition,
supported by Christians
and ultimately starves
all the way up until he was appointed by former President Trump.
Because mifepristone
Christianity is
alone
driving
not only
his
complete the abortion,
decision making,
FDA recommends
and
a two-step
religion
drug
doesn't have any
regimen.
place in government.
Mifepristone to kill the
Religion is something
unborn
that
human,
everybody has a right to
followed
have
by
and follow
misoprostol
those rules for
to
themselves,
induce
but it shouldn't be applied to
contractions
everybody
to
else.
expel the
When it's applied to
unborn
everybody
human
else,
from
you
the
have witch
mother's
burnings, you
womb.
have all sorts of crazy
No!
things. And so
Abortion is not murder.
religion has no
A
place
fetus
in
is
government.
not a baby. Women are not
What do you think of this
incubators.
ruling
A
that
pregnant
has
woman
taken
is
place?
not automatically a mother.
And but people are saying that
we say
we live in New York
to
State. Abortion
Break
is
all the
legal here.
chains.
Why should
Unleash
we
the
care?
fury of women. It's a mighty
come out?
force for revolution.
Well, so even if New York legislature makes their own rules about abortion, here we have, on Friday evening, we had a judge in Texas who was making rules that affect us here in New York. So by withdrawing the FDA approval that was made after a 4-year study more than 20 years ago, it affects everybody in the country. It's not just the red states.
These fascists that people have correctly
Do
said
you have anything else you want to say?
in and out of office. From
I want
top
to
bottom
say
of
thank you everybody who
society
came
for
out today.
ramping up their
It's really
attacks.
invigorating to
This
see
decision
the
dehumanizing
energy behind
women and
the
earlier
movement
decision of the Supreme
in
Court to
favor
rip away
of
the
supporting
rights
abortion
of abortion,
and keep up the fight, because that's the only way that we're going to
There
make
are book
progress.
burnings in
Thank
Florida
you.
and beyond.
Sure, my name is
Vicious
Matt
and
Carter.
Jim Crow-like expulsion
you're based
of
in New
two
York
black
City?
legislators
I live in New
from
Jersey. I
Tennessee.
came out to New York just for
The
this protest.
legal and cultural
Thank you.
attacks on
Most impacted by these attacks. Let's fight back together!
Labor has the power to mobilize a powerful opposition.
Basic
I see
right!
you have the sign with the Statue of Liberty
Women
and the
can't be free!
Roe ruling here. So what brings you out here today?
Abortion on demand!
Abortion on demand.
We have 4 daughters.
Apology!
We want to protect their rights to their bodies and to their choices about reproduction. And we want to make sure that this not only is in New York State, but also around the United States as well.
On demand.
And without
When you heard this ruling
without
last
apology.
night in Texas, what was your first reaction to it?
I feel a single judge is taking the power into his own hands, trying to control the rest of the country. And Texas can do what they want to do, but they can't come into New York and tell us what to do.
Okay. Now, people are saying that New York State already has abortion protections.
Now let's give it up for Emily from Mobilization for Reproductive Justice.
If it's already enshrined in New York State law.
I think the problem with that is if the FDA pulls this drug, they'll pull it nationally, not just in one state or one community. So it's going to be here before we know it. So we have to make our voices heard.
Okay. Are you part of any organization or anything?
Nope, just my family.
All right. You have anything else you want to say?
No thanks, just get it out there.
Can you spell your name?
Sam, S-A-M, Hurlbut, H-U-R-L-B-U-T.
Thank you.
Sure. Some flyers for you to take home, all the good stuff. So come up and get some whenever you can. All right.
We need to get out in the streets and demand abortion rights. Demand our rights back.
You know, our Constitution protects rights for people to own guns, but it's not protecting women's rights to have reproduction rights.
These bans on abortion.
Okay. So, but what brings you out to this event today?
I'm here to fight not just for myself, but for other women who are trying to get abortions because they, you know, whatever circumstance they're in, but can't because our government isn't allowing them to.
Are you guys coming from New York? Or
we live in New York.
And get out and
do you know
fight.
anyone that's been affected by like these rulings in the past year? Or
not personally, no, but I mean, it's affecting lots of people.
De la misma manera, se ganaron los derechos del
when you
aborto
heard
en primer
about this
lugar.
pill being
Eso es un ataque a las mujeres
by
y
the
tenemos que
ruling
salir y
against this
exigir
pill,
que
what was
nos
the first
devuelvan nuestros
reaction?
derechos.
I was disgusted by it, the fact that they aren't only coming for abortion, but now, you know, pills that are approved by the FDA, and, you know, and it's not just, you know, someone in Texas who's saying this for the whole world, you know, for our whole country.
Okay.
Estamos
But
tomando inspiración de nuestras
are you
hermanas en
concerned?
Latinoamérica
But some
como
people are
México,
saying that
Colombia y Argentina.
this doesn't really
Y
affect
creando
people in
una ola
states like New
verde
York
por el derecho al aborto.
So what's your reaction to that? When people
Únanse
say
con
that?
nosotros en la lucha.
I don't think that's true. I think, you know, it starts in one place and then spreads to all over the country. So I think we need to stop it now so then it doesn't continue to spread.
Are you part of any organization?
No, I'm just out here today, and I've come a lot of other times.
Sorry, came out last year for the protest?
What?
For the protest against Roe v. Wade, did you came out last year?
Yes, I have. I've come out to a lot of abortion rights with not just me, my friends, and I've also organized some school-wide walkouts at my school where on Thursday we all walked out.
Okay. Where did you walk out from?
We walked out. We all came to Union Square.
Can you spell your name?
Vivian, V-I-V-I-A-N-N-E.
Thank you.
Up and stay up to date. That's Rise Up, the number 4, abortionrights.org. And abortion pills should be federally banned all over all the states. Boo! Even the news hasn't really been reporting this very much, but there has been this one federal judge. Hey everybody, we are Rise Up for Abortion Rights. Thanks for crowding around us here today. We really appreciate it. Woo! Abortion pill. Fascist judges make us ill. Hands off the abortion pill. Fascist judges make us ill. Hands off the abortion pill.
Can you tell me what brings you out here today?
Yeah, so I'm an organizer with Rise Up for Abortion Rights. We are an organization dedicated to making sure that we have legal abortion nationwide as soon as humanly possible. And the fact that this judge in Texas has ruled to make the pill mifepristone illegal is a devastating blow to reproductive health care access.
Now, tell it to someone that is unsure about this abortion, what it does, and why is it controversial, and why did the judge put this ruling. Can you explain that?
Absolutely. So the pill in question is called mifepristone. It's one of two pills that's used in a regimen that basically clears out the uterus either when someone wants an abortion or if someone is having a miscarriage and their body's unable to clear it themselves. So it's been used for over 20 years. It is safer than penicillin, safer than Viagra. There was really not much controversy up until this point, and this is quite nakedly an attempt to limit our access to reproductive health care.
And this pill has been approved by the FDA 23 years ago, you're saying?
About 20 years ago, I believe.
20 years ago?
And it is very safe. I mean, I'm not going to say there's never any complications. Usually they are mild enough to be managed at home. But quite frankly, it's safer than a lot of pills most of us take every day. It's safer than Tylenol. It's safer than penicillin.
And what are you exactly? Are you what type of expertise do you have in this field of abortion rights?
Yeah, well, I've been organizing with Rise Up for Abortion Rights since the overturning of Roe v. Wade last summer, first in Philadelphia, now here in New York. I don't have any particular medical expertise, but I'm just very passionate about abortion.
What do you do in your regular life?
I'm a PhD student in psychology.
And when you hear about that abortion Roe v. Wade was struck down last year, what was your first reaction to that?
Devastation, despair, outrage. I mean, at first I really didn't know what to do about it. Like, I felt overwhelmed. But eventually I came to the conclusion that if it is to be, it's up to me. You know, I need to do something, and that's why I got involved.
Too many people here, we live in New York State. Abortion is legal in New York State.
Correct.
Some people would say that why protest when it's already legal in the Northeast, in New York, New Jersey, and all over Northeast. Why protest?
Well, so right now the mifepristone ruling is not going into effect because it's been appealed by a federal judge in Washington. But because this is a federal decision, if it ultimately comes to pass, it's going to affect people in all 50 states, including New York. Regardless of what the majority of voters want, regardless of what your governors want, if this pill is banned by the FDA, then it will be illegal in New York, and abortion access will be devastated. There will be no choice but to get surgical abortions, which, while safe and important, take more time. You have to actually go to a medical office. And, you know, we only have a limited number of providers. People from other states are already coming here. So your ability as a New Yorker to get an abortion is very much under threat right now.
Okay. So what exactly is this rally going to be? Are you going to be just holding signs in front of Washington Square Park? Are you going to be walking around to try to push the message out? What exactly is your organization, your group trying to do?
Yeah, so the plan for tonight is to rally. A couple different organizations are going to be giving speeches. We may or may not march, depending on the turnout and the energy. But our goal is really to get the word out. I know people are angry and frustrated and might not know what there is to be done. And we want to tell you that you're not helpless. You can come out here. You can join us. You can be part of this movement to fight for abortion rights. And we're just hoping people will get that message and take it to heart.
Well, your activism, has it taken you to states where abortion was banned? Have you been to states where abortion was banned?
No, I've mostly stuck to the East Coast. I have a sister who goes to college in Tennessee, which has some of the most restrictive abortion laws in the country. And, you know, I mean, even as New Yorkers, I'm sure many people we love live outside of New York. And we care about them and want them to have access to health care.
Someone that has tried to get an abortion, but went to New York or any of the states in the Northeast, has your group facilitated help to try it, or what have you done?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of wonderful organizations. The Bridget Alliance is one that comes to mind that helps people from other states access abortion care. We're a organization that focuses on getting the message out, on getting people organized. So we definitely work with other organizations, but our goal is really to get people angry, to get them to care.
Now, this is a judge, was a Trump-appointed judge, right?
Correct.
And how many judges did Trump appoint in these various positions who may have influenced this decision? Are you aware?
I don't know the exact number, but hundreds.
And what do you think of the current political situation and tension in regards to this issue? What do you think about it?
Well, I think it's disappointing how many people don't recognize abortion access as a basic human right. I mean, the right to control what goes on inside your body, inside your organs, should be the most fundamental, unalienable right we have. It should be considered a basic human right. And the fact that people see it as, you know, optional or, oh, it'd be nice, but not something I'm willing to get into the street about is incredibly frustrating.
Go expound on that, not interested about, what do you mean by that?
Well, I know a lot of people in blue states specifically, like you were saying, kind of think, oh, this won't affect me, you know, I'll always be able to get an abortion, or, oh, I'm responsible, I use birth control, I don't have unprotected sex. But quite frankly, that doesn't mean it will never be on your doorstep. I
My
mean, not
body,
only
my
do
will.
we have,
Hands off the abortion pill.
not only do we have
body,
friends
my
and family who
will.
live
Hands off the
in other
abortion
states.
pill. My body,
It could
my
affect us
will.
here.
Hands off the abortion pill.
Okay, can you spell
My
your name and
body,
what's your
my
organization?
will. Hands off the abortion pill.
Emma Pinsky, My organization is Rise Up #4 Abortion Rights.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Not the state. Women must decide their fate. Not the church, not the state. Women must decide their fate. Not the church, not the state. Women must decide their fate. 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 Decide their fate. Women must decide their fate. Women must decide their fate. No back alleys in the night. For safe choices we will fight. No back alleys in the night. For safe choices we will fight. No back alleys in the night. For safe choices we will fight. No back alleys in the night. For safe choices we will fight. No back alleys in the night. For safe choices we will fight. Woo! All right, repeat after me. I'm going to say, what do we want? Legal abortion. What do we want? Legal abortion. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Legal abortion. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Legal abortion. What do we want it? Now. What do we want? Legal abortion. When do we want it? Now. Woo!
You out here today?
I am out here today because it is outrageous that the people who run this system are going to make this a Handmaid's Tale situation where abortion is no longer accessible to any women anywhere. And this is all part of a fascist onslaught that, you know, people just can't sit, you cannot sit back and take this, because if you do sit back, this becomes the norm. They're taking away the access of abortion rights, not just in states that ban it, but all across the country. They're kicking black legislators out of, you know, the legislature for calling for gun control. They're dragging the world towards war with this proxy war that they're fighting over in the Ukraine with Russia. All of this stuff going on, and it's going to keep going on until we act to stop it. It's going to take a revolution, nothing less, to stop that. As part of that, people need to stand up in the face of all these attacks. And this is one big one, this attack on the right of a woman to have an abortion. That's why I'm out here. That's what...
Can you spell your name?
My name is Carl Dix, C-A-R-L-D-I-X, and I'm down with the Movement for a Real Revolution.
All right, thank you.
Hi, that's
I don't know.
Oh, I remember you.
Yeah, how about
Okay.
we need a lot more dogs and cats. We just have less people, but less.
We need to organize. We need to keep fighting back.
For black birth givers who don't get equal or proper access to any reproductive health
health care within their little bodies. I'm angry for comatose patients with no, but I'm also angry for those who can't safely or freely stand with us today. I'm angry. We're in this for much more than just ourselves. We're here and standing up for the most, especially when it comes to limiting rights of, a lot of people in this country. We're forced into the legal process just to access basic to organize. The less effect of the organizing, the ruling didn't come out late just by. So I'm really grateful to see everyone gathered here.
Rights for abortion, rights rise up. Rise up for abortion, rights for abortion, rights.
Sidelines sitting at home right now who are devastated but don't know what to do in the face of all the horrors we're exposed to on a daily basis. I need everyone doing everything that they can. Different people may have different strengths. Some people might be, want to give a speech. Others don't. That's fine. The important thing is that you
repeat after me. Everywhere we go, people want to know. Pill.
We want the pill.
Abortion pill.
Abortion pill.
All right, you guys are good singers.